Welcome back, guys. So we are doing a series where we troubleshoot Kubernetes real life scenarios, and this can help you prepare for CKA and CKAD examinations. But also this is something that you will have to deal with or you will be doing every day if you're planning to be a DevOps engineer or an SRE. This is like the common problems that you will see when working in any environment in real life. So we have this situation right now where we have pods of a deployment, and this deployment has 3 pods, and these pods were running. Something changed and now it's not running. So you don't know what changed. So one of the easiest way to fix the deployment is to go back to a version that it was previously running. So we have a running version over here, and if you don't know how to read the name of a pod when it comes to deployments, what deployment does is it creates a replica set, and that replica set is always looking at the pods, and it is deciding how much pods the deployment needs and how much are currently up. So if you lose a pod, the replica set will create another one for you. In this scenario, when you have a deployment, it generates a replica set, and in the replica set, you will have some random characters after the name of the deployment, which you can see over here. And then you can see some other random characters which are assigned to the name of the pods. So for this replica, you have 3 pods over here which have different names at the end, but it belongs to this replica. We don't have anything from this replica because it did not work properly. And currently it is trying to deploy this replica, but it is not able to create this. What we know right now is the deployment is broken, but it has pods that were running properly before we made the change. The reason you're still seeing the pods from the previous deployment is because Kubernetes deploys new pods with an approach where it will keep the old pods running, it will bring the new pod up, and when the new pod comes into a running state, it will delete the previous version. So it doesn't get rid of the working pods. If you do a rollout deployment, what it would do is it would bring up new pods, and once the new pods are up and ready, it would then get rid of the old ones, so your service is not impacted. In this scenario, we have the new one which is unable to come up, and this is the latest deployment because you can see this was started like 4 minutes ago. But we are stuck at this, but our service is still running because we have the previous working deployment. So one way you can find out which deployment was done earlier is, let me give you this command. I will put this in the GitHub repo, but it's basically this command. So we are saying that we need custom columns of name, which is over here, and it will pick up the metadata.name, which will be this value. And then the second column would be revision, which is over here, and it will pick up the annotations and the value of the annotation, which should be the number of revision. This is how you will find out how many times the deployment was updated, which revision is the earliest one, and which is the latest one. This is the latest one. We had one change over here, and we had the first one over here. You can also see this is you can do a K rollout history, and then what do you want the history for? We want it for the deployment. And which deployment do you want it for? So we want it for the web app deployment. So here it is not showing any change of course, but if you want to get the service up and running, you don't want to troubleshoot, it's in production environment, you don't want to waste time troubleshooting, you just want to revert the change and look at it afterwards. You want the services back up. Right now it's running, but in real life scenarios, suppose someone deleted the older ones. What you need to do is K rollout. One way you can do this is undo. Actually, I can do a rollout -h, and these are the available commands for deployments, daemon sets, and stateful sets. We have history to see the history, which we saw over here. We have pause, restart, resume, status, and undo. So we don't want to do undo because the second one is also broken. That's why it did not bring anything up. So we don't want the second one, and we want the first revision. So we'll do an undo. It will bring us to the revision 2, and we'll do another undo, which will bring us to the revision 1. We don't want to do that. If you want to see the history and the details of it, you can do a k rollout history deployment web app and then minus minus revision equal to 2, and it will tell what was changed. And here it says that deployment web app with revision 2, and this image was updated. And if I do a revision 3, this is the current one, it says the limits was updated. That's the new part over here. So that's how you find out. But if you want to actually go back to revision 1, you can see it had the correct image tag and we didn't change the limits, so it was working. So to go back to revision 1, what you will do over here is do an undo. K rollout, and instead of history you will do an undo, and we will tell the deployment web app to go to revision, and it would be equal to 1. And what it would do is from revision 3 we would jump back to revision 1. In any production environment application, you will not just have 3 replica sets, you will have 10 to 15. Every time something is changed, every time Argo deploys it, it would create a new replica set. This is very helpful and very handy when you don't want to keep going back, or if you don't know how to actually get back to a working version of the deployment. But that is it for this video, guys. I hope this was helpful, and I will bring in some more questions related to services and ingress. But that's it, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.